co-chair of North Texas Action Committee. And what we do is we organize around these crimes and police brutality, not only in North Texas, but across Texas as well. There are cases that we've been involved in, like with Brady Chancellor. He was by the police. But here today, we are here in remembrance of Botham who unfortunately was murdered. Not just a manslaughter, not just an accidental killing, a murder done by police officer Amber Geiger of the Dallas Police Department. The story goes is that she mistakenly entered an apartment. And it's a story that if you didn't know anything else about this case, you would probably take it at face value. But the fact of the matter is that Botham he made it a point to have a red mat in front of his door so that not only he knew which apartment was his, but that everyone else knew that that's not your apartment. Ignoring this, she still entered the apartment unlawfully with the lights off. Instead of considering maybe turning the lights on, considering maybe asking, who is this in my apartment, the first thing she comes to do, the first thing on her mind is to pull out a gun and ruthlessly murder a man who was in his apartment. We've all heard the saying, driving while black, shopping while black. But this one is very poignant because it's living in your own damn apartment while black. It's an absolute shame that you can't even feel safe in your own home. That somebody can make a mistake, which if we want to buy that it was a mistake, if we want to give her the benefit of the doubt that it was a mistake, that this kind of a mistake can have such dire consequences, and the fact that there are so many people who, for some reason, want to justify or absolve Amber Geiger of this murder, that they're doing all of this handling and like, oh, it was a general mistake, who knows, I don't know, maybe. No, here's the thing.
She lied multiple times already.
She lied multiple times already during the course of her speaking with the police. And if you know anything about the apartment complex in which Botham resided, you know that the apartment complex doesn't have a bedroom. Exactly, so it's my job. You have to stick. You actually have to stick a fob into the door, and then when the light's on and the pad turns green, that's how you know you're in the right apartment, and the door will unlock. So you're telling me that you stuck your fob into this door, and you opened this door. If it was the wrong door, it wouldn't have opened for you. So then, when that comes to light, and more people start to realize and start putting two and two together, she then goes on to change the story that the door was apparently unlocked. Even if the door was apparently unlocked, you're still standing at an apartment with a red mat. You don't have a red mat on your apartment. So the first thing in your mind should be, I am in the wrong place. This is not my apartment. Not, let me go ahead and open this door anyways. And let me go ahead and open this door anyways. And then if I see somebody in there, I'm going to go ahead and shoot them down in cold blood, regardless if I'm wrong or not. Here's the thing. And unfortunately for a lot of people on the right and on, the Fox News of the world, they can't paint Botham as some kind of thug, criminal. You're not going to find, he worked a respectable job at PwC, right? But unfortunately, even working a respectable job, even being an upstanding community member, an upstanding member of your church, that does not stop you from being a victim of anti-Black violence at the hands of police departments, not only in the city of Dallas, but police departments all over this country. The fact of the matter is that this kind of racism is not due to individual officers, individual bad apples. Because if you ask me, like the saying goes, one bad apple spoils the whole bunch. But the thing is that if they're, with all of the surrounding cases, not only Botham of police brutality that we see every single day going on in this country, we already know that if those good, quote-unquote, good police officers were genuinely good police officers, they would be sure to go after and prosecute and make sure to ruin the lives of police officers who are doing wrong, who are doing the things that they are not supposed to be doing within the community. Now, I'm not going to go too far with this expression, but just take this analogy here. There's a German saying that if you have 9 people and 1 Nazi at the table, then you have 10 Nazis at the table. Now, let's extrapolate that to the police force. If you have 1 bad police officer at the table who's killing and maiming innocent civilians, or even if they are suspected of a crime, that doesn't necessarily justify a death sentence, right? I mean, I feel like all of us can agree on that, even, I mean, maybe not the racists, but generally good people. That means that all of those police officers, in their continued support and defense of Amber Guyger, are complicit in her death, or in Botham Jean's death, and are also complicit to not only that, but other crimes of police brutality brought against citizens of Dallas and citizens around this nation since the police have come into inception. No, you gotta look right
Okay, the other thing is, even if police officers wanted to hold their co-workers accountable for things that they're seeing that are wrong, there's something called the blue wall of silence. Okay, it's so real that you have what stop and frisk was going on in NYPD, and with the NYPD, you had officers that had to be whistleblowers, told us that they were being installed in the policy within the police department that were put into place that mandated that they harass people that they didn't try to do. And there were some officers that were and those officers were other officers drive by the restaurant, threatening their families. There's no the community to hold them accountable. They're doing. Oh, one more thing. So the way that Amber Guyger handled murder Botham is one thing, but the thing that really gets to me is how the Dallas Police Department as a whole has handled it. Like Jennifer was saying, you know, you couldn't find a better person than Botham. But they still tried to smear him. After he was murdered, they didn't put the police up. Not the murderers. They had 3 warrants, and they still waited until he walked out, moved all the stuff out of the apartment, and they put the stuff in the car. That was deliberate. Because they were never going to hold a crime. They were never going to prosecute her. They don't know what to do with that officer. They get her angry and they turn herself in. Just the fact that they searched the victim's apartment and they put on the news that they found marijuana. Now, what does that have to do with anything? Not even something that was an amount that could be prosecuted, but to try and smear this young man's name after he died, to shift the blame off of the police officer that killed him, it just says a lot about their intentions. So we just have to stay mindful of that. Always be critical of the police narrative, because they're no violence. They will find something together. We have to demand it. We have to figure out how to do it. police force do we actually depend on to protect us? Governor Abbott has sent in state troopers to the city of Dallas, and all that's really done. So, Governor Abbott has sent in state police officers, state troopers to quote-unquote help with the rising crime and murder rates in Dallas, which undoubtedly have been going up. But as a result of that, murders continue to rise, and brutalization by state troopers and murders by state troopers against citizens in the city of Dallas have also continued to rise. So, with that being said, this is really a deeper systemic problem. It is a problem of They said there is only the green.
All power to the people.
All power to the people.
We stand here tonight at this solemn gathering of just a few of us to remember the brother Botham. Different colors, different face, different sex. To remember this brother who lost his life in his own home. First of all, I want to say this, is that when we remember Botham, from what I understand, he told his mother she had concerns about him being in Dallas, Texas, and being a young black man in Dallas, Texas. He said, "Mom, I dress right. I try not to speed, Mom. I don't go out at night. I'm home, Mom. I don't drink, Mom." But no matter what he did, he still lost his life. He did not lose his life driving fast in a car. He did not lose his life walking on a dark street in D. He did not lose his life in a drug deal. He lost his life in his own home, where he paid rent. From all accounts, he was an upstanding citizen, a good church man who loved the Lord. But did that save him? No. And the reason why those very tenants that Botham tried to do to keep his life together, it did not help him. It was because of this. What we have found out when black men deal with police, and this is worthy of conversation, that they are the legitimate targets of the state. They are less powerful. They're seen as less than citizens. They are diminished citizens of our community. Are they equal in front of the law? Not really. Because the sister said, Botham was not even cold on the morgue table when the state went to vilify him, violate, and we found drugs in his apartment. In life he was violated, his home was violated, and even in death he was violated. And I guarantee you, when this goes to trial, there will be more violations. Why? Because he was a black man who happens to be an immigrant, living in Dallas, Texas. I won't even say Dallas, Texas. I will say the United States of America. Been affirmed as citizens. We stand in the very best, not even over the street, where Alan Smith was dragged out of a court building, rope tied around his neck, dragged down Main Street, and hung up over an arch, where the white citizens, and the police watched as they lynched this man in the early 1900s. But we stand here in 2019 again when we're going to get ready to see a lynching of a black man. We are at war. We can already be guaranteed that no matter what happens in that courtroom, there won't be real justice for Botham John, because real justice for Botham John is for him to be alive.
Amen.
Yes.
It's not for Amber Geiger to get 25 years or 3 years or even life, because she'll live longer than Botham John. Real justice is that he should be here today, celebrating his birthday, being with his mother and his father on their days. No one wants to bury their child, but things happen. Children die of leukemia. Children die of cancer. Nobody's child should die with a bullet to the chest in their own bedroom. And to further the violation, she was allowed to move out of her home. She was allowed to leave. She was coddled and held in the blue line of police culpability. Given a pass, given sanctuary. When we know in this country there's never been any sanctuary for people of color. If the trees could cry out in Dallas, Texas, if the very jail cells across the street could cry out about the atrocity that have happened in these buildings, built by the Ku Klux Klan and held up by the state, Henry Wade said no Mexicans and no niggas will ever serve on our juries. And then let us not talk about the exonerees, the innocent black and Hispanic men that have rotted in our prison system for crimes that they did not commit. But yet, Amber Geiger gets to walk. She gets to go home. It's been a year. How many Thanksgivings did she get to have? She got to sit with her family at Christmas time. She got to celebrate another birthday. All that was cut off for Botham John. The real justice comes if he was still alive. There's nothing that can be given, nothing that equals that. Ever. And until we realize that, next year, next month, last week, how many vigils were there for people that have been killed by police? DPD, Dallas troopers came into the southern Dallas community to stop crime, but when they left a body. A young black man pulled over for a wrong turn. Does a wrong turn have to equate death? A broken tail light equate death? Yes, it does. There will be no justice for Botham John, no matter what type of sentence Amber Geiger gets. The real justice if he was still here, walking in the flesh, among us. And I'm quite sure every morning his mother goes to his room and she sits and waits for him to come. He will not be here for Christmas. There'll be no marriages, there'll be no children. There is no justice. There's only sadness. But how do we stop this? How do we begin to staunch the pain if we can? Number one, we organize. You organize and you get with a group that's doing something that's making a difference. You join a coalition of people who want to see change. Two, if you can, get into the protest. Show your solidarity with others. Three, work to change policies. 4, and this is the most important one, show up for jury duty if you can. Show up. But we know that the way that the system is stacked, a lot of us don't make it. But if you can make it, go. Because you can be that person that makes the difference. You can be that deciding vote that makes sure that cops, bad cops like Amber Geiger, go and get jail time. But when we don't show up, we give them the very ammunition to keep us from getting what we need to do in those courtrooms. I'm old now. I started this thing way back, and we thought it was going to stop then. Tamir Rice, Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, Jordan Davis, Jordan Ellis, Eric Garner, Walter Scott, Alton Sterling, Mike Brown, Amadou Diallo, shot 32 times. Police walk. We have names here. Santos Rodriguez, 12 years old. Jimmy Lee Walker, who was accused of killing a white woman, but they had no evidence on him. They castrated him before they executed him. So, again, like I said, do what you can do. Join an organization. Get involved. Protest if you can. Help change policies and procedures. But most important, show up for jury duty if you can. And vote. A lot of people say our votes don't count. I believe they do. Because if they didn't, why the hell they make up with so many laws to keep us from getting them? Why do they come up with so many laws to keep us from casting a about that? So I say to the young people, I'm sad that you have to go through this again. I went through it with Rodney King. I went through it with Sean Bell. I went through it with Amadou Diallo. Long, long list. And now you're my children's age and you're now going through it. So, it starts with you. And if we really want some type of justice for Botham, that I wish he could get that justice of being alive, which he won't, the justice we need to have is to be involved and become game changers. And show up in those places and those spaces where they expect us not to. Because, I'm going to say this, it said that a black man has to live to be 50 years old for him to get the same type of treatment that a white 16-year-old boy gets when stopped by the police officer. I say that again. It says that a black man has to reach the age of 50 years of age to be treated with the same respect that a 16-year-old white. Now I think 16 is dead. Solidarity forever, y'all. And I'm not even gonna say peace to Dr. John because he didn't die in peace. That would be in the front yet, young man. I'm not even gonna say justice for Botham. I'm gonna say remembrance to him.
Talk about this time last year there was a town hall here in Dallas and I had the honor and privilege of meeting Botham's partner, Cynthia Johnson, and I just saw her and she was obviously like very upset with what had happened and the injustice, and I said, you need a hug. And she looked at me and she gave me a hug. And at that time I didn't know who she was, but I just knew like, she needed some consolation. She spoke of of Botham's character, how he was an upright citizen. He actually moved to that apartment complex because it was close to the police department, and he thought he would be safe there. He really cared about the people. She said that, you know, in an event like this, he would be the one passing out water, and the one comforting people. Just to remember Botham like that. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
I'm Dan Sullivan. I'm social secretary. A lot of you know me because a lot of you have worked a lot of time over a lot of years. I've been in this struggle with brutality for more years than I easily can count, and I'll be in it until either we get justice or there's no more me. In a struggle like this, it's very important to have heart. It's important to have the heart to keep at it. Heart here means that you care enough, but it also means that you believe enough that something you can do can make a difference, and you need to have the heart. But it's also important to have the brain to think about what you're doing, how you're doing it, and why. And one thing I think that we don't think about enough is why this struggle is so unbelievably difficult. And I say that, you know, my father was a newspaper reporter. He wrote a book about a riot, about police brutality in Harlem in 1964. I don't think anyone here was born in 1964. And it was probably right? So what we saw in Ferguson a few years ago when Mike Brown was murdered, that was tame compared to what happened in the 60s and the 70s in Harlem and in Los Angeles and many other cities as well, and yet still here we are, right? And the truth of the matter is that our reaction to these things costs this city and costs the powers that be. It does, to the point that they're very upset by it, they're very worried by it. When Black Lives Matter in Dallas was at its height, we would march through downtown once or twice a week, and the downtown businesses would send out emails to their employees saying you can go home early, there's going to be a march tonight and it's going to be chaos. The cost to the city there is millions, and the city wanted it to stop, and they were willing to make a deal to stop it. But the one thing the deal didn't include is for the police to stop killing black people, right? They give us almost anything, but not that, right? So it's not much of a deal in the end, right? There's no deal. And why, if it costs so much, won't they stop it? Why is the problem so intractable that over the decades, even over the centuries, it won't be fixed? And I've had a long time to think about it now, and I'm going to tell you what I think. What I think is that this is a very divided country. It's almost not one country. You can go to Frisco and you can see the new houses going up. Two-story houses, beautiful thing, with solar panels on top and little fake green columns and all this stuff. Maybe all of you have seen them, maybe some of you live in them and there's nothing wrong with living in them. But then you can go to South Dallas and you can see where the people are living there. In these little tiny apartments, they still got the window units. If you've lived in a place with the window units, you know, it's not going to do it. You know, in August, it's still going to be 80-something, you know, minimum, even if you can afford to rent it full time, right? You know, in all those apartments, you'll never get rid of the roaches, right? So we have these two very different standards of living. And it is heavily racialized in the United States. It's class, it's about poverty. But poverty and race are very, very closely connected. I'm not saying there's no poor white people, but there's not that many, right, compared to black people or Latinos. And so, won't be satisfied. Maybe get a part-time job.
It's okay.
They don't follow the rules. And so many of them don't do it that the only way to keep people alive is absolute sheer police terror. Right? Police terror. And it is, to understand the racialism of this, it's very interesting. Police somebody, one of the earlier speakers mentioned she was from Mesquite, right? So you have suburbs and you have very different approaches towards policing in different suburbs. So for example, if you take Plano police are quite racist, don't get me wrong. But Plano police are generally not that violent, right? Plano police, for example, some years ago there was a guy who took a child hostage and the police surrounded him and the guy asked the police people, how are they playing the police? And the police says, well, as long as we have to, I guess, right? DPD, they got killer robots, right? It's a different aspect, right? And some of the suburbs, Garland, Grand Prairie, those are two police forces that can give Dallas a run for their money when it comes to beef. You don't hear about it as much because the population is much smaller, right? So the number of incidents is not as high just because Dallas is a big city, right? But it's pound for pound, those cities are about as bad. And what's happening is the areas with a large number of low-income people of color are the areas where police are brutal. That's a fact. It's an established statistic. You can look it up. There's been studies on this, and that's what's going on. And this country relies, it seems to me, must rely on police terror in order to maintain that divide. Because if it didn't rely on it, the expense it has from it, the pressure on it to get rid of it, sooner or later, why they've got rid of it. But they can't because they need it, right? And that has a lot of implications as far as the size of the problem that we're facing. That what we're looking at is something that's so deep-seated in our society that until our society is fundamentally remade in a much more egalitarian way, the problem will remain more or less intractable, right? There may be reforms, there may be ups and downs, but it's going to keep going on. And you know, it's an interesting thing too when you think of the scale of it, because the slogan is Black Lives Matter, and I've always thought that's a very good slogan. I'll explain why in a minute. But I'm talking about life, right? I'm talking about the killing. What would happen if we added in the beating, right? How many of those are there? You know? How many nights are there in the city of Dallas where the police don't absolutely beat the living shit out of someone? You know? Probably not very many. And I'll tell you another thing about that is when I was in high school, he had a brother-in-law, who was a recent ex-Dallas cop. We're over at his house hanging out. The guy's sitting there talking to us. We were kind of pumping his place. That's better than these numbers, but very much people, you know? And this fellow, he said to us, you're in Remembrance, do whatever. But if you're in Dallas and the police, if you run from Dallas police and they catch you, they'll beat you. So here's this guy. He's not making off. He's not some crazy liberal commentator. It's not something you read about in the book. He was a Dallas police officer. He's been telling us how they do it. They have a policy. It's not the book, but it's a policy that if you run from them, there's a punishment for that. Punishment is not that you get charged with resisting arrest and face a judge and maybe get a jail time. The punishment is they beat the shit out of you. Right? That's it. That's just the rule. That's how they do it. You know? And I have seen them do that in the last 2 years. And they stopped because they got a white. But they were bound. Right? So today. So that's the extent or the scope of the problem that's even much bigger than the lives involved, of which now at this point there's so many that I struggle to call to mind even the names of the ones that I marched about. So that's the scale of the problem, in my opinion. I promise I'd say what I think Black Lives Matter is such a good slogan, so if you'll indulge me, I will. I think it's a good slogan because in the end, what happened here is here's this woman who walks into this apartment and sees a black man on the other side of her gun who is no threat to her, but maybe, who knows, maybe she was wrong, maybe she was confused, maybe there was some slight chance that somehow it could be a threat. There could be much of one because he wasn't close to it, he wasn't not, but this is a black man on the other side of her gun. He can pull the trigger and it doesn't involve jurisdiction. Right? That has been the rule in Dallas for a long, long time. And that has been one of the things. I don't know how many police in Dallas and around the country. Someone mentioned Amadou Diallo. Okay, this is a man. He's from Ghana, if I remember right. His English was limited. And some New York police detectives come up to him and they say, put your hands up. And he doesn't really understand. For his wallet, all right? Well, they were no danger. Maybe there was a slight 1 in a million chance that there could be some danger. So they fired 32 bullets into him, into the soles of his feet. Right? Because it doesn't matter to them. Because to them, black lives don't matter. To them, the cause. Talking about the police patrolling and the way they do things in the suburbs. I grew up in Garland, Texas, and Dad mentioned this a little bit. It's fucking rough out there. Like being around the police. My parents raised me to be fearful of the police. They had to teach me that.
Yeah.
They had to say cuidado con los tiburones. That's sharks. They would say, you know, I would be playing in the back in the car seat, and it told me to calm down when the police were nearby. And those same police,
Right.
Sorry, it's a little difficult. I haven't talked about this in a while. Those same police harassed my mother. My mother suffers from bipolar disorder. When she was pulled over, and her Spanish, as broken as it is, didn't know how to handle her breakdown when the police pulled her over. She flipped out. And they don't know how to deal with that. They don't know how to deal with mental health. They don't know how to deal when someone is showing obvious signs of trauma and their response is violence. And so my mother, the badass that she is, fought back. And she put hands on him, and now she has a felony charge for the rest of her life because she defended herself because she was weak. So I say this because another thing that I noticed today, I live over in La Bajada. That's a tiny little community over that way. They call it Trinity Groves now, but that's what the gentrifiers call it. It's La Bajada. And it's an awesome place. It's my favorite place I've ever lived since Garland because it's an integrated community. That place is very working class. Many Latinx immigrants live there. And just today, getting ready for I was getting ice for the cooler, and I saw an ICE corrections officer duty just doing the thing. And I guess the reason I'm saying this is because we all need to come together. And they always say the bullshit slogan, all lives matter. We know what they mean when they say that, but we have a better slogan than that. And that is, an injury to one is an injury to all.
Amen. Yes.
So I would like to lead a chant right now.